Hello everyone, welcome to Canteen Cup. My name is Scott. How is everybody today? Today's a Sunday, my day of rest, and I am going to take it. As you can see behind me, we did a little work yesterday. Almost done pulling all the trees out. And then once we get all the trees put out and cut up, then I can start getting the rest of the land ready, clearing it, getting all the loose stuff up, and then getting ready to till and fertilize, and then get ready to plant a cover crop at least. Things are moving along, and like I said, the homesteading life there's a lot of work involved, and we just keep plugging at it as much and as best we can, while we still have work to do. A lightning update. We have a lightning update. Got everything fixed, got everything repaired. Damage wasn't too bad. The biggest thing was I had a large 38-inch monitor that I use as part of my work, and I had a pretty nice computer, and it took that out. I did replace the monitors. I got two smaller monitors this time instead of one big one, and then I ordered a laptop instead of another desktop, and about the same power and memory wise, close as I can get it for as quick as I needed it. And the computer will be here this coming week, and so then I'll be back up to full strength and maybe stop shooting videos on my iPhone and going back to my computer where I can use my GoPro and then I can edit them a little bit better. I know my voice is not the best, and so I do the best I can with what I have, to quote Pastor Joe. And I want to thank him for the shout out he gave me the other day, and that's Viking Preparedness for those that don't know who Pastor Joe is. Like I said, today's a day of rest. I'm taking it easy. I thought I'd shoot a little video. I wanted to talk about, information. There's a lot of information out there, and I think we spend too much time worried about things that do not affect us. When I was growing up, we only had a couple news sources. We had the local newspaper. We had basically the 6 and 10 o'clock nightly news. And then we had our neighbors, talking back and forth. We didn't have a lot of, like we have today. And then a lot of stuff today isn't necessarily true. Now, in the past life, I've worked as an analyst, and it was part of my job to verify sources. And I can tell you, there's a lot of disinformation out there, and there's just a lot of outright lying going on. So really what I wanted to talk about is, don't spend so much time learning about things that don't affect you, because it's a distraction and it prevents you from doing the things you need to do that do affect you. An example would be sitting behind your computer watching all these news feeds about something happening 1,000, 2,000 miles away when you could be out tending and preparing your garden. Really just worry about what affects you. Now the question is, what affects you? And someone could say, well, anything in the United States. Well, that's true and not so true. And in all my years, there's only a few global things that really affected me in my life. When I was in Germany during the mid-'80s when Chernobyl had that meltdown and a big radiation cloud was going across northern Europe. I was in Germany, out of that zone, but I was there. That affected me, so I watched it. Mad cow. I was there when the mad cow disease had that big flare up. I watched that because that could affect me. It didn't. I can't give blood anymore because of it, but It's a sacrifice of service, I guess. The COVID-19 virus stuff, some of that affects me. And so I pay a little bit of attention to that. Do I ignore world events? Do I ignore national events? Do I ignore state events? And the answer is no, I don't. However, I don't spend a whole lot of time on them. I'll breeze through one or two news services and spend a couple minutes, and I determine real quick, how does it affect me here? If it doesn't, I move on. So where is my focus? My focus is what is here, what is in where I live, my surrounding neighborhoods. I'm really concerned about things, let's say within about a 5-mile radius. That's probably somewhere in the 80 to 100 square miles around me. I'm really focused on that because those are things that could very easily affect me. Going on beyond that, things affect me less. I may spend a little time. In other words, I may look at what's going on in my county, maybe some of the surrounding counties. I'll spend some time there. Not a lot, because again, a lot of stuff that happens either in my county or in surrounding counties may not affect me here. Going beyond that, my state and surrounding states, again, I spend a little bit of time there, not a lot, but I worry about things that affect me. And when you start getting into that level, laws and regulations, commerce, some of that. But again, not a whole lot. And then national. Do I worry about what's going on in California? No, I don't. Do I worry about what's going on in New York? No, I don't. Two reasons. One, what goes on in those states and others, I'm just using those two as an example, probably will not and never will affect me. So I don't worry about it. And the second part of that is, what can I do about it? Nothing. So, if all sorts of people are dying in New York, there's nothing I can do about it. So I don't worry about it. I mean, they've created their own problems, so to speak, and they need to create their own solutions. I can't help them. They're not going to help me, so I don't worry about it. Now, do I worry about stuff that goes on in Georgia? Like I said, yes, but not as much as what goes on in my county. I worry about the things that affect me. And, on a more national or global scale, I worry about things that happen on those levels that could affect me. But the bottom line is, I worry about what affects me and what I can do to mitigate that. And you're looking at some of the things I'm doing to try to help mitigate some of the things that can happen on a larger scale, which is food production, water production, how to take care of my family. That's what's important. And that's what I worry about. So, I'm not saying become a information recluse. I'm just saying, use some judgment and use some wisdom in what you're paying attention to. I'm not saying ignore everything that happens on a national or international level. I'm just saying choose how you spend your time on that. If you're spending hours and hours worried about what's happening in Italy, I think you're wasting your time. If you spend hours and hours worrying about what's going on in New York, unless you have some relatives there or something, you're wasting your time. Because it probably won't affect you. So don't worry about it. Worry about, what do I need to do to make my property, to make my situation better for me and my family? And that's local stuff. Yeah, people are talking about food shortages and meat shortages. Okay, what can you do about it here? You know, what resources do you have here? Because you can't affect anything that happens, far away. So, I guess really what I'm saying is, like everything in life, you need to prioritize what you are doing with your time. How are you best devoting your time, organizing your time to provide and take care of your family and your friends? And it's not in New York, and it's not in California, it's not in Utah, it's not in Texas, unless you live in those states. It's where you are here. And I use those states just because they're far away from me. Your mileage may vary. So take care of yourselves. Worry about what's going on right here, or where your property is, where your home is. And if your situation looks dire, then you need to do something about that. Maybe move, maybe, make things better. We work on our property and we try to make it where we're going to be as self-sufficient as we can. Do I foresee a time where we would have to be 100% self-sufficient? Currently, I'm going to say no. But there may come a time when we may have to be more sufficient than we are right now, and that's what we're working on. That's why we moved out here. That's why we spent our time and our energy to get this property ready for us to be at least semi-self-sufficient. So everybody take care. Think locally. Think how things will affect your locality. Can statewide or national things affect your locality? Yes, and those are the ones you need to worry about. Don't worry about the rest of the stuff. Worry about taking care of you and yours, because that's what's important. That's really all I have for this Sunday morning. It's nice and cool out today. It's rather windy. It's a good day to be alive. We got a lot of work done yesterday. Got a lot more work to do, but it's a constant, ongoing thing. And even if you're just taking little bites out of the elephant, eventually you're going to eat it. And that's what we're doing here. We're getting ready. Like I said, I've got a little bit more trees behind me back there that I've got to pull out, and then once about 5 or 6 maybe at the most, cut them up, get them on my stack, and then I can start doing something else with this land. Get all the slash off of it, start tilling it up. We're ready to do that. So that's all I got for you guys. Really take care of yourselves. Take care of your family. Worry about what you can do to make your situation better. Stay safe. Stay secure. We'll see you out there.